Question. Abhinav and Tanush are both teachers at Mathematics High School. They wish to form a joint committee of 4 people from both of their classes, and they both teach 4 students each. How many possible joint committees are there if not all of the students can be from one class? Let us first try to understand this problem, as it sounds very complicated. The problem says that there must be a joint committee of 4 people from 2 classes of 4. Essentially, this problem is just asking us to calculate the number of ways we can make a group of 4 people if we were given 8 people to begin with, as there are 2 classes of 4 and 2 times 4 is 8. However, we must make sure that all 4 people in the group are not from the same class. In this video, I will present 2 solutions to solving this problem. One is tedious and yet intuitive. The other is much quicker but requires a bit more understanding of the problem. Here is the slower solution. Let us write out every case for the number of students from Abhinav's class and Tanush's class. These cases are, we send 3 students from Abhinav's class and 1 student from Tanush's class. The second case is we send 2 students from Abhinav's class and 2 students from Tanush's class. The final case is we send 1 student from Abhinav's class and 3 students from Tanush's class. Let us start with the first case where we send 3 students from Abhinav's class and 1 student from Tanush's class. The number of ways we can pick 3 students from the 4 students in Abhinav's class is the same thing as using the choose function. For those of you who do not know what the choose function is the equivalent of writing NCR, which can be modeled as n factorial over r factorial times n minus r factorial. In this case, n becomes 4 as we were picking from a total of 4 people, and r becomes 3 because we're trying to choose 3 of those 4 people, which is equal to 4 factorial over 3 factorial times 4 minus 3 factorial. After simplifying, we get 24 over 6 times 1, which is equal to 4. Now we must consider the number of ways we can pick 1 student from Tanush's class out of the 4 total students in his class. This is the same thing as writing 4 choose 1, which is equal to 4 factorial over 1 factorial times 4 minus 1 factorial. And after simplifying, we get 24 over 1 factorial times 3 factorial. Just as a side note, whenever we're taking something and another thing, we must multiply these 2 values. Since we have 3 students from Abhinav's class and 1 student from Tanush's class, we should multiply 4 and 4 in order to get a total number of cases. In this case, it becomes 4 times 4 is equal to 16. Let us move on to the next case. We have to pick 2 people from a class of 4. This can be represented as 4 choose 2, which is equal to 4 factorial over 2 factorial times 2 factorial, which is equal to 24 divided by 4, which is equal to 6. And we're doing the same thing for Tanush's class, so I won't bother through going all the work. The final answer for this case becomes 6 times 6, which is equal to 36. Because you have to remember, we have to multiply these 2 cases in order to get the actual result. Finally, let's move on to the final case. 4 choose 1 times 4 choose 3. This is the same thing as writing 4 factorial over 1 factorial times 4 minus 1 factorial times 4 factorial over 3 factorial times 4 minus 3 factorial. As you can see, this is the same result as the first test case, so I'll just skip on and go to the answer, which is equal to 16. Finally, we must add all these values, as these are the total number of ways from each test case. So the answer becomes 16 plus 36 plus 16, which is equal to 68. Now let us move on to the faster solution. Because we simply have to pick 4 people from a total of 8, our calculation becomes 8 choose 4. But let's not forget the restriction. A single student cannot come from the same classroom, and there are only 2 cases where this happens. Either all 4 students were from Abhinav's class, or all 4 students were from Tanush's class. So we must subtract these 2 cases out. So our answer becomes 8 factorial over 4 factorial times 4 factorial, which is equal to 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 over 4 factorial. And after simplifying, you should get 70. But let us remember to subtract the 2. And this gives us 68, which is the same answer as before. In competition math, there will almost always exist a simple solution. Take advantage of the wording in the problem, and try not to solve problems using the tedious method as described in this video. It is good to use it as a beginner, but you should be able to slowly progress into solving problems quickly and efficiently. Thank you for listening.